All right, we're going to call the Public Power Hour the order, and Chris, we're going to give you a little bit of time. What I'm going to ask you to do is come forward and state your name and address. Come to the microphone. And you got to have to bend down so everybody on TV land can hear you. And if you would, we have the handout that you sent, but because we set this up late, if you don't mind, I mean, kind of share that with us and just kind of, it's all yours.
I appreciate it, Mayor. So I'm Chris Herndon. I live at 2011 Pisgah Road in North Augusta, South Carolina. We've been living there since 2015. So kind of the backstory with this, in 2016, my daughter was hit by a car on Pisgah Road, and it broke her leg, and she went through a little traumatic experience. However, since then, I know personally I've gone to 2 other children that were hit by cars on Pisgah, one going to school and then one crossing the Greenway. And even though we have a flashing caution light, but there's also been other people that have been hit there, bicyclists, etc. The biggest problem that we see on Pisgah is just the speeders, really. People using it as a thoroughfare to come off the interstate, and instead of going down Georgia Avenue to Martintown Road, they just cut down Knob Cone. And so we were trying to figure out, talking with some of our neighbors, about how we could somehow come up with an idea to maybe deter that. I don't know exactly the route to take, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if it's a physical deterrence from law enforcement, possibly use law enforcement to do I don't want to say a case study, but essentially a 6-month program, maybe get out there and see what they can drum up, a random check of speeders, etc. The other option, we looked at, I know I went to South Carolina Department of Transportation to see if we could get some speed humps, but they told me that they could not because there were too many cars traveling up and down Pisgah. So that was a problem there. They said the only way they can make that happen is if the city went to them and petitioned it, and then there was a lot of red tape that goes with it. So I'm going to leave that in y'all's hands. So that's kind of what this petition came about from. There were a lot of people in the neighborhood that were, as we talked, they were complaining, but I guess nobody was actually letting y'all know. So I said, well, let's get a petition together, put some names on it, and then we can give it to you. So I sat down with several of the people in the community. We came up with different ideas. We tried to organize them on that petition, get everybody to sign electronically instead of going door to door. We had several people who said they would not sign electronically, but they would if we went door to door. And I said, I think 95 is good enough for now. If we need to go that route, we can. And that's kind of where we're at. But once again, I don't know the proper response on what to do about the problem, because mainly what we're seeing is around the 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. There's a lot of speeders coming down that area. And then you also have, of course, right after high school with the kids coming out, taking off. And I know it's hard for law enforcement to deal with that. I know South Carolina currently doesn't have a law on the books for having traffic cameras up. So that's a whole nother issue with the state legislation. So I don't know where that's going to go in the future. But I don't know if a camera without a radar would be sufficient enough to make people kind of go, whoa, there's something, I need to slow down. I know the traffic sign, Lieutenant Sadler did put one out there, the traffic sign that catches your speed. Honestly, I'll be honest, you come from law enforcement, those things really don't work. People see it and they automatically slow down and go, oh yeah, I need to slow down. So it's not really doing is true justice. But having some boots on the ground that can sit there and drop them, that's better. And that's what we did on West 5 Notch when we got complaints from Mossy Creek about speeders. We just sat up there down the road, had a LiDAR unit, and we just started tagging people as they came down, writing tickets. It kind of slowed it down for about 6 months, and then picked back up, and we went back out there. So, but that's kind of where it's at, so I'm going to leave that in y'all's hands. I'm here for any questions you may have.
I don't really have a question per se. I mean, but that road, this isn't anything new.
Yeah.
I grew up here, David, you as well, and Pat. Going to school, afternoons were treacherous trying to, especially if you were coming down Knob Cone or White Bark, to turn left onto Pisgah and go to 5 Notch. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if anybody's thought about this or if this is something we can even do. But I'm curious if we put three-way stops at Knob Cone and White Bark. Couple things. One, would that slow people down coming down Pisgah? And two, it would probably help with afternoon traffic, because if you've ever been there at, when school lets out, if you're coming towards, trying to make a left on Pisgah, especially with Paul Knox and the high school getting out at the same time, this is something I've been dealing with since a teenager. When I used to leave, it was quicker to go Knob Cone all the way down Martintown through Lyndhurst back to my house, even though my house was, a mile as the crow flies. But that might be something worth looking into, having three-way stops at White Bark at the bottom, and that would also help with traffic for the Greenway as you speak. I think most of the people coming off 5 Notch are aware they hadn't gained that much speed, and there's a curve there. But coming the other end, they're coming down that hill, probably not paying attention to speed, as you say. But I'm thinking that might be a good solution. I don't know if that...
I think it would work. I know that we definitely need some type of caution light or something for that crosswalk at the top of the hill.
Correct.
Because if you're coming down Pisgah, if you're going faster than 30, by the time you top that hill,
you're talking about right before you get to Knollwood?
Right before you get to Knollwood. There's that crosswalk, but if somebody's flying down there, they're not going to see anybody.
And the speed limit is 30, so it's one of those, you could be doing 30, but I agree. But I'm wondering if maybe we could work with the state, because I'm pretty sure Pisgah and Knob Cone are state roads.
Hey, but not also just on Pisgah. I live right there.
Okay.
So I live off Hollis Avenue, which is off Curtis.
Yep.
My daughter actually got in a wreck last Monday on the way to school, right there on Curtis, because people come flying around the turn. But coming up Curtis Drive, if you're on Wells and you would turn right onto Curtis to go down the hill, there's a sign. The old brick signs in the neighborhood? You can't see these cars coming up because the brick signs in the way. But I'm kind of with you, Eric. I think even at the top of Curtis too should have a three-way stop sign.
You're talking about Curtis and Knob Cone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it does.
No, I'm talking about Curtis and Wells.
Wells, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, with all this high school traffic.
Yeah, because people cut down Wells.
Wells is Curtis and Knob are four-way
Yeah, that's
stop.
your four. I'm talking about
that's
at the
good.
top of the hill.
But see, another gentleman
I was
was
thinking
here
Courtney.
about a four-way stop at Courtney and Knob, but that never was done. They said no.
So school started, what, 2 weeks ago? 2.5, 3 weeks ago? I had a phone call because I live right there. And the principal was going to change at Paul Knox to hold the kids back because he didn't want the kids to get in. He wanted more parents to go through, the car pickup line versus the kids like walking out to the car. And I called him. I said, hey, well, now if you hold the kids back later, that's going to have them walking into high school kids' traffic. And he was like, oh, because, my kids went to school there, and principal back in the day tried, to do the same thing. And they
Well,
realized.
and one thing, and I see Mr. O'Neill up there, White Bark, we had all that trouble. But what's happened since people are not using White Bark like they've been, then they are coming Knob Cone, so your traffic has doubled there because parents were picking up. They're not doing that anymore.
No,
Plus,
they
they're
are.
not letting the children walk on White Bark. So now your children are walking on Knob Cone, and the sidewalks are on one side. Then you get down to Curtis, and you've got to cross over. So, gosh, that's the most dangerous.
Cars come flying. I
So,
was just there
yeah,
on the way
there
here.
is something that needs to be solved with this traffic.
But they are using
Somehow.
white bark, Miss Pat. I was doing an estimate the other day when the high school let out, and cars are apparently they've opened the gate and they're leaving the high school coming
Are
down
they,
White
Mr.
Bark.
O'Neill?
Yeah,
Are they
did
opening
open
that
up back
gate?
No.
No, they're not. I'm telling you.
Sometimes it is.
They'll pick them up at the park. Kids will walk over to the park, and that's what.
Well, that's been
Right.
addressed. I did see
And see,
that.
that's another thing, trying to pick up at that park. You have to turn around some way, but something needs, I don't know what the solution is, but
I looked into DOT laws, and I know the DOT with that 800 car limit that they have with the state, that puts a lot of regulation on it. So then it comes down to the city council would have to talk with DOT and work on a process, because I know DOT said, yeah, once they hit that 800 limit, they're done.
Well, me.
And then you can hit that easy before 8 a.m.
And I'm gonna tell you, talking to DOT's like talking to that flag.
Well,
I mean, that's it. I mean, we can't do a thing.
I wanted to bring this up because at the conference, I don't know if you saw it or not, they had those speed signs that had the radar. And maybe we can see about trying to maybe go ahead and procure some of those because those were mobile. So you could put them on and then take them back off and move them around.
Especially on Pisgah.
And maybe we can, I mean, that's a simple, quick thing we might could do, you know, to see how that might affect, and we'll be able to use those somewhere out
But we
the
have that
city.
machine, actually.
Well,
This
Yeah,
is one
yeah.
that would mount to a pole that you can transfer. So like,
Yeah.
you know, the one we've got now is a trailer. They'd have to hop up on the curb with it. This one right here, we just
Right.
put it on a power pole or something.
just mark it on the.
I mean, in the meantime, but I do think a long-term solution such as a three-way stop at those 2 points would really help on Pisgah. Now, I know you mentioned speed humps, and I'll be vocal, I'm not a fan of speed humps, just because I've seen it too many times when I'm working out in Columbia County. People will slow down for the hump and then speed right back up to the next one. It also slows emergency vehicles. People that are going to speed, unfortunately. And that's why I like the three-way stop, so at least they can't come, you know, off of Wells and just do unchecked all the way to 5 notch. At least they have to, hey, I got a stop sign coming. Hopefully that will, I think, to me, I'm not a traffic engineer, know how that works, but
Yeah, I think,
That would be a good idea. And I know eventually, I mean, hopefully the State House will pass the law for traffic cameras. And that'd be nice because I know they have that in Columbia County. And I know that has helped in certain intersections. But once again, we got to wait for the State
Chris,
House.
this is very good. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, sir.
I will tell you, and the reality is this, we're in a growing city. And I wish it was only one area, but it's not.
It's
And unfortunately, there will be situations that we can't solve, it's just where it is. But I do think what we can do, if council's open, we can look into what that looks like as far as with three-way stop. I hadn't thought about that. That may make absolute sense, I don't know. We'll have to the staff, but part of what this is about tonight is for you as a citizen to share with us. And for council to say, okay, staff, here's something we need to look further into. Eric's right. I will tell you, I'm actually personally, Eric and I are different here. I'm for speed bumps, but I can tell you, we have literally had a citizen come forward and say they want speed bumps. They sat down right before my citizens came up and said, I don't like speed bumps, okay? So again, the problem, just what we're seeing now already, Pat, you just said it. We solved one problem to make this group to help, and what happens, it gets pushed back, and then there's another group. So when it comes to traffic, you know, but I will tell you, at the MSC conference, there's a ton of communities that do not have, who wish that they had the issues that we had. Their traffic's a lot worse. But we've got issues, and not all of them are easy answers. But I do think this is something we can look into, just kind of see what that might look. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yes, sir. I
Really
appreciate
appreciate it.
As we bring that up, I'd like to bring back up Courtney and Knobcombe, the four-way stop. Because that sort of got shot down. But that might slow, because they're having to stop at Curtis, go a block, stop again. But I'm going to tell y'all, over my years, speed bumps, highway department will never go for that. Never.
Well, no, it's our decision on our roads, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, but what I'm saying is, it's everywhere. I mean, I would put where I live on Fairfield and San Salvador, which is the back entrance of Riverview Park. I'm gonna put that up there with anybody as far as cars, four-way stop, and people are running, okay? It's like, who's the gentleman up there by Observatory, the road next to Observatory talks about Steve, thank you, Steve Bryant, you know. Guess what? We're in a city, okay? And people don't abide by the law. So we don't have the ability to just stick an officer down there all the time. I think I do like, I was going to say the speed machine. There is some value in that, maybe kind of at least waking that up. We do rotate that. That might be something the three will stop. So I think you've given us some ideas that what we go back to staff and say, hey, we need to kind of look at this. Not gonna give you a promise anything, but I think you brought it up. I think we're all saying, hey, let's kind of look at this again.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
And
if I
that's-
could add one more thing real
Yeah.
quick. I do know that Lieutenant Sadler was able to provide me with some statistics as far as vehicle versus pedestrian on
Yeah.
that road compared to other roads in the city. And Pisgah is one of the higher roads along with West 5 Notch.
Sure.
So I would just take that into account if y'all will. I do appreciate your time.
Chris, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. Chris was the only one that actually sent us in advance about the public power hour, so we do have just a few minutes. Is there anybody in the audience that has anything they want to share with us? We've got a few minutes. I'd be glad to open it up. I know what you're here for the meeting. That's fine. Thank you, Chris. Okay. You know the rule, Mike. State your name and address for the record in your green jacket shirt.
Yeah, Mike Hitchler at 1300 George Avenue. I just want to come out and show, first of all, I want to be here for the council meeting on the development on the 44 acres. But anyhow, I wanted to just say the green jackets, I want people to really come out and support them. I mean, great ballpark, great team. I was there on Saturday night. This jersey was for a fundraiser for charity for the Walton Way. They took the jerseys off the backs of the players and the coaches. This has been washed. Don't wear. I don't.
Is it
like
signed?
wearing
Is
the
it signed? Is it signed in the back?
Yep. Diaz and McCarr.
Awesome.
Good, fantastic.
Now, you didn't wash the good luck out of it, did you?
No,
Okay.
but now I have a license to grouch and shout at the players because I have an official coach's jersey. But the other piece I want to say is that things are going well with the first responder station.
Yep.
Building's a lot bigger than the neighbors were expecting, but I think we can all handle that with, put white oak trees and other trees with the landscaping. But they seem to be good neighbors in terms of the construction. So
That's
things are
good.
moving
That's
ahead.
good to know. That's
Good
good.
to
We
hear.
appreciate
The
that.
last thing is wish London luck, London and Natalie. They're expecting their new baby in 2 months.
Okay.
They're moving out more towards exit 1.
I saw their sale sign on their house, right?
Yeah. A good sign for North Augusta is that they had 4 offers within, I think it was 6 hours. 2 of them were above what they were asking. But,
But they needed more space.
yeah, an 800 square foot bungalow is not good for having a
So-
new baby.
Two important lessons about this. One is people said, oh, if y'all put that station there, no one's going to want to buy. Okay, that's not true. And two, and they are a great example. They came to the first Meet the Mayor, and London was very nice about it from the beginning. But again, his moving is because he's got a family and wants more space. So
More space. He
Good.
hates
I saw
leaving.
that sign. I was
And-
wondering
and
about
if you
that.
get a chance on the morning of the 12th, he's having a little stop to get together with all the neighbors.
Okay.
So if you get a chance to stop by there, it's going to be a little buffet out in his yard. So
When is that going to be?
The 12th, morning of the 12th.
Of August?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and a fine time of the year.
All right. Well, very
But then one last thing is that I don't want to bring up corporate company or city business too much, but
okay.
a number of companies, I represent one company, TFE, that wants to buy one of the old houses to move their corporate financial areas on George Avenue. So I'll be talking to Mr. Paradise about it,
Yeah.
but people want to actually come down there. I think people see that there's a vision for what George Avenue should be and the city overall. So they want to put the money in and help preserve the older houses too.
Yeah. Tommy's have been in contact with them. Yeah.
So things are moving, it seems like they're moving in the right direction. So thank you.
Good to hear. Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike. All right, guys, it's 5:50, so unless somebody else jumps up, I am going to close out the public power hour, and we'll be back in a few minutes to start. Good evening. I'd like to call the City of North Augusta regular City Council meeting for August the 7th, 2023 to order. Welcome. It's great to see everybody. You are welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, we ask for you to give us the guidance and discernment needed to make decisions for our community. Help us to listen to each other's perspective on all matters. Help us to respect the concerns from citizens as we strive to honor you in our role as elected officials. Amen. And if you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll do our roll call starting from my left.
Eric Presnell.
David McGee.
Pat Carpenter.
Britton Williams.
Jennifer McCauley.
David Buck.
Kevin Toole.
Right. Approval of minutes, item 4. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the City Council meeting minutes of July the 17th, 2023? The special called City Council meeting minutes of July the 24th, 2023, or the study session minutes of July the 31st, 2023? Okay, hearing none, I will ask, they'll stand approved as distributed. Thank you. Okay, this is always exciting time. We get Employee of the Quarter. And I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Baldy if he'll meet me down front. How you doing, young man? Good to see you. All right. Michael is the Employer of the Quarter for April through June. The engineer, this is from the folks who recommend him for Employer of the Quarter. The engineering department experienced an unexpected departure at the beginning of the quarter, and Michael has been instrumental in making sure everything has continued to run smoothly and covering for the loss. Michael has gone above and beyond his job expectations, performing inspections, writing reports, and been in the field much more than normal. Michael has been eager to learn or relearn in some cases the ins and outs of engineering inspections for water lines, sewer lines, roadways, driveways, sidewalks, and stormwater infrastructure. He's taken a responsibility over various projects and has not hesitated to make sure they are in compliance. Michael has taken on all these responsibilities in addition to his normal responsibilities with no issues. He has always been willing to take on an inspection with little notice at an early or late hours of the day and effectively moved around his schedule to accommodate contractors. He has also been involved in training other employees on aspects of inspections in order to better delegate the workload. It's for these reasons that Michael Baldy is the Employee of the Quarter. And besides all of that, he got his son married just last weekend, right? Yes, how was it?
That was a rough 2 days.
Who's more relieved, you or your bride?
I think she.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Michael, here's what it says. Employer of the Quarter were the Michael P. Baldy for April, May, and June of 2023. Michael does do a great job for us and is always there, and we really appreciate your service to the citizens. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Spelled right this time. I went 24 years ago and it wasn't spelled right.
Well, let's not wait 24 years next time, okay?
I'm pacing myself.
Okay. Well earned. Okay, this is also exciting. We have a retirement. It's not exciting that we have the retirement, but it's exciting for the person retiring. Let me be more clarified. But the gentleman will not be here, but I'm going to read about Mike Turner from the dais. North Augusta Parks, Recreation, Tourism Department Maintenance Technician Mike Turner retired from the City of North Augusta on August the 1st after 26 years and 5 months of service. Mike was hired in 1996 as a Center Program Coordinator for the Riverview Park Activity Center. Mike left the city in 2001 to pursue other opportunities, but returned on February the 6th, 2002 in our maintenance division to utilize his specific skill set. And he has amazing skill set. Mike loved to work on special projects for the city, such as remodeling the current city administrator's office, the new office space in the community center for PRT, events coordinator, new office space for the tourism and marketing coordinator, and the new office spaces for the Chamber of Commerce. Mike's talents were used to install and repair water fountains, bathrooms, playground equipment, picnic tables, benches, Christmas decorations, and more. Mike was the man behind the scenes at the Jack-O-Lantern Jubilee who made sure the electrical needs of the vendor and staff were taken care of. For many of his years of service, Mike has been the PRT employee responsible for hanging and removing the street banners in the downtown area. Maybe his most favorite task of all for the city of North Augusta was being responsible for taking the lead on the Christmas decorations every year. Mike and his wife, Delissa, will enjoy their retirement while residing in Aiken. So, Mike, you're probably already relaxed, enjoying yourself. Thank you for your service. Really appreciate everything you've done for this community and for the citizens. So let's give a round of applause to Mike Turner. You know he's right here. Okay, very good. I guess you'll get the plaque or whatever to him. All right, here we go. Okay, we're going to jump right into old business. Item 6, planning and development, ordinance number 2023-14 to approve the general development plan for the 44.52 plus acre River Commons planned development on the west side of Knox Avenue between Martintown Road and LeCompte Avenue. Do you have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Presnell. Second was Mr. Buck. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor and Council, I think this item has been well reviewed in study session in the previous ordinance reading, and I have nothing to add at this time.
Okay. Are there any citizen comments? Okay, hearing none. Are there any council discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you very much. Now, under new business, we have a few items. Item 7, Parks, Recreation, Tourism, resolution number 2023-28, selecting Cranston Engineering as the city's design and engineering services. Sharon Jones Amphitheater additions, the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Okay, Ms. McCauley, Ms. Carpenter, thank you. Okay, anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The resolution before the council is for selecting the design and engineering firm for the amphitheater addition. So that is not the general contractor that will actually be doing the work. This is the group that will be doing the design aspects. And so the city conducted a down selection through a request for qualifications that was led by Ms. Rachel Moody as Assistant City Administrator. We had a number of qualified firms, but ultimately the selection panel chose Cranston Engineering as the firm of choice for this particular project, and so that is what is before you today to vote on, is the selection of Cranston and to be able to move forward with them as the design and engineering firm for the amphitheater.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Are there any citizen comments? Okay. Are there any council discussion? Do I hear none? I will ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Item 8, resolution number 2023-29, authorizing partial release of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Ms. McCauley, a second? All right, Mr. McGee, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So to remind the council, when we first came forward as a staff to the council to talk about ARPA and SLURF funds, one of our very first requests was for almost $4 million for the Southwest Interceptor Pipeline Rehab Project, which is the slip lining project for the 3 interceptor lines. Subsequent to that council request, the city applied for and was successful in getting a Rural Infrastructure Authority grant that would offset the cost of that greatly. And so because that money has been approved for a total of $7,656,789, that allows us to not have to fully fund the wastewater project, and we can remove just a little over $2 million out of that project and put it back into ARPA for uses in other projects. So as we talked about briefly in the study session, this would be an opportunity for us to unencumber those funds. You have to take that action as a council. And just as a reminder for our citizens back home, the administration does not have the authority to just fund projects on the backside. Everything has to be done in an open forum. And so this request to move $2 million out of the wastewater project back into the quote-unquote general portion of ARPA fund is what's before you today. What is not before you in this resolution is any plan to spend that money. This is just the banking action, if you will, of moving it from one project into the ARPA line itself.
Okay, very good. Are there any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion? All I'm going to reiterate, and we said it when we initially, is Rachel, you and James worked really hard on that grant. And I mean, to me, it's just another example of the city, being responsible and doing the right thing because of that grant. It was a huge grant. And quite frankly, there were a lot of, when we were at the MASC, there were I think only one other citizen community that got that grant. So, I mean, it's hard to get, but to free up this kind of money that's going to be able to go back for some very worthwhile projects is fantastic. So thank you again. So if there's no other council discussion, I would like to ask for a vote. Okay, all in favor? All right, unanimous. Great, thank you. Okay, item 9, resolution number 2023-30, resolution authorizing expenditures of coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. This expenditure request number 7. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution? Ms. Carpenter, thank you. All right, Mr. Presnell, appreciate it. What would you like to share about this, Ms. Clifford?
For Mayor and Council, what's before you here is a request to expend up to $50,000 of the ARPA SLUR funds for greenway improvements, primarily for 2 specific projects. One, which would be accomplished by city crews, but the cost of materials would need to be borne by the ARPA, which is for a sidewalk connector from the greenway to the new bathroom facilities that were funded by North Augusta Forward at the Hammond Hills pool facility. And so that would allow folks that are transiting the greenway an opportunity to be able to get off the greenway and use the restroom facilities there and get back on the greenway. So we view that as a greenway connected project. The second project is to install a metal bridge at the Villages at Riverview. That's been a project that's been out there for a while. We had a wooden bridge that had given way, much like the Greenway Bridge that had been over by the dog park. And so this bridge connects the Greenway to a neighborhood, and so this metal bridge would be replaced, or the wooden bridge would be replaced with a metal bridge, and allows us to move forward on that with a couple of construction contracts. So ultimately, we view these projects as eminently doable and something we can get moving in a fairly short time frame if the council so unencumbers or encumbers these funds for these projects.
And how much is that project?
The bridge project is going to be a minimum of $16,000.
But we're doing the lump sum of the 50 to give, so what we're doing is 50,000
Yeah, okay.
for the greenway improvement, so we have the flexibility. depending on
Oh,
what
that's
comes
for
out.
both then, the
Yes.
50,000. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, that is wonderful. So we have any idea when that would start with Riverview Village?
We've had some initial dialogue with contractors that are able to do that. That's how we're able to get some of these rough order magnitude costs. I would imagine that if the council passes this resolution, we'll be moving forward here within the next week or so to get something moving. And I don't mean actually putting a bridge on
Yeah,
the
right.
on the emplacements, but actually moving forward with the contractor to get that work going.
Are there any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion? Just 2 points I'd like to make is, one, for folks who are watching, This came to our attention. We knew about the wooden bridge, but at one of the public power hours, the entire neighborhood,
Yeah.
for the most part, came to us. They shared with us, and because of that, we're able to understand it as a council and move forward with staff to say, hey, this is something, because instead of going to a wooden bridge, we're doing what we're doing with other bridges, with the steel bridge, which is what we need to have, which we saw in Greenville a lot, if you noticed, this couple of weekends ago. And the second thing is, I think the sidewalk, this is a great example of collaboration. You got Hammond Hill Suburban Pool, who are giving part of their land. You had the North Augusta Ford, who is building the standalone bathroom, and we don't have a bathroom in any part of the greenway there. And on the third part, we are, with Tom Zezer's folks, we're doing the labor and building the sidewalk with a sign. So, I mean, this is a win-win for our citizens. And I think just a great example of when a group works together collaboratively, good things can happen. So, with that being said,
Well, I hope, Mayor Williams, that will open a door maybe for, at Pisgah, the gas station that's right there.
that's been a conversation.
That
Yep.
will open a door that they could partner with us with the bathroom there. And that's where we sort of got every end covered.
I know. Rick's working on it already.
Who is it? Go ahead, Rick.
So anyway, no other discussion. I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? That's unanimous. All right, very good. Thank you.
I was like, they $8 short.
All right. Item 10, Plan and Development, Resolution Number 2023-31, accepting a deed of dedication for the streets, sanitary sewer, stormwater collection, fire suppression systems, and associated easements and right-of-way, along with maintenance guarantee and letter of credit for Forest Bluff, Section 1. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution? All right, Mr. Presnell, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Buck, thank you, sir. Ms. Clifford?
Mayor and council, this is a routine action, but it still requires council consent. And so this is the deed of dedication for the neighborhood that's going in behind Knollwood, or extending Knollwood. And so ultimately, it is the recommendation of both Public Works and the Planning and Development Department that the city accepts this deed of dedication.
Yep. That's standard, what we always do. All right, any citizen comments? Any council discussion?
I don't remember those plans specifically, but this is only like phase one or something, right?
Yep.
So there's like 3 phases altogether? That
Section.
section? Something like that? Just 2?
Tommy says two.
Okay. All right. Good. Great.
Any other discussion? Here now, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Very good, thank you. Item 11 is just basically a receipt of information. So it's a recommendation, memorandum number 23-014. We got backup material. This is from the Planning Commission for Development Code rewrite. So we are not discussing this. We're not voting on anything. It's just accepting that information, which we have done. And I will let folks know, and I thought I had my sheet, but we will be having a study session. Our next study session next Monday will be on the Development Code rewrite. So it'll give us as council, we've had a week, we'll get another week to start asking staff about it. So for citizens, if you want to come and watch, cannot participate at this, but we are going to have an opportunity for the public to give input. So we are not pushing this along. We're expanding this about a month through different periods of time to give everyone to continue to talk about this. We want to do this right. But the next opportunity that council will be discussing this will be next Monday at the study session. So that's all I need to do on that, right? Okay, very good. All right, any administrative reports, Ms. Clifford?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, item 13, presentation, communication, recognition of visitors. At this time, citizens may speak to mayor and city council regarding any matters not listed on the agenda. If you're interested, I'll ask you to raise your hand, come forward, give your name and address for the record. So do we have anything out there of the folks sitting that needs to talk to us that's not on this agenda? Speak now? No. Okay, that's right. Okay, I've got a couple announcements, so before I do the end it across the board, Eric, you got something?
Yeah, just wanted to, for the people at home and the people here watching, myself, Councilman McGee, Councilwoman McCauley, the mayor, several of us went to the Municipal Association annual meeting in Greenville, not this past Thursday and Friday, but before. And I just want to say, it re-energized me to see what our city can be. But not only that, you know, we got to meet people from other cities throughout the state. And every time they saw North Augusta, everybody was like, North Augusta, y'all got it going on. And I'm going to tell you, that makes me feel good. And I'm hoping the citizens feel that way too, because, you know, that is special. You know, when I used to travel out of town, everybody's like, North Augusta, where's that? You know, I just got back from vacation yesterday, and we're in Helen, Georgia, and I'm telling people North Augusta, they're like, oh, y'all got the ball field. I mean, here's people you would never expect. So we've got some great things going on here, and I just wanted the citizens to know, you know, that there are a lot of people in the state that are envious of what we've got going on here.
Amen. All right, anybody else? Ms. Pat, come on now. Come on now.
Everything's just running beautiful.
All right, thank you. Anybody on this side, Ms. Pat? Okay. All right, so a couple announcements. Save the date, September the 9th. From 8 to 11, we're having our trash bash. So normally the trash bash is on the Georgia-Carolina weekend, which is the weekend after that. But we're not doing that, so we're kind of doing it the week early, so hopefully maybe even have a better turnout so people aren't trying to go to the football games. So you're going September the 9th, that's a Saturday, 8 to 11, will be North Augusta against Augusta. We own the Mayor's Cup, so we need to hang on to it again. So you'll be getting more information about how to register, but save that date. We had a great turnout last year, but we need to make it even bigger this year. We also on, and I think we finalized this, on third Thursday, which is coming up August the 17th, we're going to be having our ceremony for the new flag poles that have been put up with the flags. I don't think we've got a time yet, but just check our site. We'll be sending that out. So that's going to be a great opportunity to come to see our flags raised on new poles in front of the Municipal Center, and then you can hang out at the Arts and Heritage Center's got an event. The restaurants are going to be open. So August 17th is going to be a family night for third Thursday. It'll just be a great time to hang out. So I hope you'll come to that. I don't see Chief here, but anyone who, and I think, David, you've done this, but the Citizen Academy is starting again. They're taking applications through the end of August. And the Citizens Academy, through our public safety, will be from September the 12th through November the 14th. It's once a week from 6 to 9 p.m. So if you're interested in this, it is amazing, and we've had good turnouts, but this is a great opportunity to really understand the ins and outs of public safety across the board. Very transparent. So I want to let people know about that. And let's see, anything else?
It's lots of fun, too.
Yeah.
Do some fun stuff. So.
You get to shoot guns, yeah. And then if you don't already know, I know it got on WAFJ, blowing that up. We posted it on there, but the Jack-O-Lantern Jubilee, October the 27th and 28th. The 27th, the artist will be a Christian artist. His name is Toby Mack. Be incredible. And on the Saturday the 28th, we've got a great group in the 90s. Most people will be familiar with Sister Hazel. Has a lot of hits. So it's going to be an amazing 2-day weekend. So go ahead and put that on your calendar. We've got, I think, probably some of the best artists we might have ever had. So very excited about that. With that being said, that's all for good order. We stand adjourned. Thank y'all for being